I'm addressing this temptation by establishing social media boundaries for myself, utilizing social media scheduling software, relying on social media managers, establishing business goals based on my metrics, and reflecting on my own personal progress. Hey sis, welcome to the Entrusted Women Podcast, a one-point podcast created to equip Christian women communicators of color. Every episode focuses on a single point to equip you in one of four areas: purpose, writing, speaking, and business. Along the way, I will share stories, lessons, tips, mistakes, and real-time experiences I am learning on my journey as a Christian woman communicator of color. Now let's dive into episode 18. Today's point is, if you do not control your ego will control you. When it comes to building a business, we all need to have confidence. We need to be able to communicate who we are, what we do, and who we serve with conviction. But we cannot get this confused with our ego. Ego is the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious, and it is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. If we do not keep our ego in check, it can single-handedly sabotage the foundation, structure, and reputation of ourselves and our business or ministry, often with costly and irreparable results. Let me just say, I have struggled a lot with my ego. Did I say a lot? I am sharing research, but I am also speaking from personal experience. With that said, here are a few ways that ego can destroy a business. Number one, ego can prevent you from hearing the concerns, ideas, and valid criticisms of others. I do not enjoy being criticized, but I know it can make me better. Don't tell my husband. This is what author and speaker Beth Moore had to say about criticism in her book, All My Knotted Up Life. Those in the public eye will never be relieved of criticism. It's baked in and probably should be. The trick to dealing with criticism is letting it do its good work, but forbidding it to demoralize and destroy or to embitter. Number two, making your business more about you than your customers. Everything we do in business has to be rooted in the needs of our potential customers. Our social media, marketing, products, and services are not about us. What? They are about our ideal target audience. Number three, refusing to acknowledge your team and taking all of the credit. Me. When we acknowledge our team members, this builds community and causes people to want to work for us. It doesn't matter if the service provided is for free or paid. You may have a volunteer team. Acknowledging the work that has been done for us, for our business, will go a long way. Number four, trying to do everything by ourselves and refusing to ask for help. This is a sure way to experience burnout. We must find a way to make what we do sustainable, even if we are just starting out. This means asking for help. Number five, measuring your success in comparison to others. Not good. We must measure our success based on our own goals and metrics and not those of others. This is difficult to do, but I have some suggestions on how to do it that I'm going to share a little bit later. So now that we have talked about a few of the ways that ego can destroy us, I want to talk about some ways to put ego in check. Amen? So the obvious number one place that we need to start is communication with God. If you have a relationship with God, He's going to keep you humble. Trust and believe. I love these words from the Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 12, verse 3 that says, "For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, Do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. In other words, he's saying, don't get a big head. So put your ego in check. Paul was talking to the Roman Christians, but we can apply this verse to ourselves as well. Yes, we may believe that we are at the top of our game with social media stats and our book deals or our quarterly earnings and our number of speaking engagements. Woo, woo, woo. But those things mean absolutely nothing to God, right? He's not looking at the outward appearance or accolades, but he's looking at our heart. Next, we can keep our ego in check by delegating responsibilities. I need to get this lesson. You may be saying, well, I don't have enough money to hire an employee or contract worker, but can you create intern positions? This single strategy has freed me up to create more content rather than getting bogged down with social media management. Another way that we can keep our ego in check is by refusing to compare ourselves to others. I mentioned this earlier, that is one of the ways that ego destroys us. This is so difficult to do, especially if we have an online business. I am addressing this temptation by establishing social media boundaries for myself, utilizing social media scheduling software, relying on social media managers, establishing business goals based on my metrics, and reflecting on my own personal progress. It's difficult, but I'm working on it. When we become obsessed with our own business, there is no room to obsess over others. And the final thing that we can do to keep our ego in check is to refuse to take ourselves too seriously. We gotta laugh. This means we can share our mistakes and our failures, not just our highlight reels. So when you feel your ego trying to rise up, and it will, and take the lead, these are just a few of the ways that you can help it sit right on back down. Hey sis, have you taken my 7-question quiz? This quiz is designed to help you figure out where you need to start. Take my effective communicator quiz to gain clarity on your communicator journey. Simply click the link in the description section of this video or of the podcast. Additionally, if you are interested in connecting with other writers and speakers that are on a similar journey, I want to encourage you to join our free community of entrusted women that are focused on determining the message that we have been entrusted with and the intentional purpose that God created us for.